Okay, I'm gonna run through what an assessment with me looks like if you come complaining of hip pain, knee pain, or low back. So first off, please remember that this is all in the context of you, your story, your complaints, your history, your horse, your discipline, your goals. And it's not gonna be blanketly applicable to everyone. After I get a really good sense of your story, what your symptoms are when you're experiencing them, and what your goals are, we'll move into a physical assessment. And typically I start that by looking at your functional movement. A big one I like to look at is just the good old-fashioned squat. Can you get your knees over your toes? Do you have a big shift to one side or the other? Are you comfortable getting down into the bottom, or do you feel like you get stuck somewhere? Do you even fully trust your strength to get you all the way down and all the way back up? That gives me a really good sense and a baseline for your strength and your mobility. I'm also going to look at your single leg squat pattern from side to side to see, is there a big trunk shift that happens? Can you keep your balance? Do you end up hiking your hip or letting your knee collapse in? And do you trust yourself to get down to a reasonable level? Again, that's going to give me a really good sense of your body awareness and control. Do you know where your body is in space? Do you have the strength and control to move through that range? I'm going to look at a couple other functional movements, like a toe touch. And in this position, I want to see how far can you get that down? And is there a nice curve that can happen in your low back when you're down here? I'm going to look at your low back extension to see how far back can you go, if there's any referring pain when you do that, and if your hips can move into an extended position as well. And then I'm going to look at your side to side flexion for your low back movement and your rotation as well to see if there's any big difference side to side there. Rotation with something like a 90-90, and it might get you in the saddle to see if you can isolate movements with your pelvis and your low back, if you can move your legs and get them into different positions, and what all of that feels like to you. I'm then going to get you on the bed, where we're going to look at your passive range of motion by me taking your leg and moving it through different planes. And we're also going to test your isolated strength in different muscle groups here. I may have a feel through your low back where I'm individually palpating the different vertebrae to see if there's any restrictions there. And I might do some more specific testing on different joints to see if we can rule in or out a very specific pathology. But essentially, at the end of all of this, I'm coming up with what's called a problem list, which is a big list of things where you might not be hitting a standard at which we think you probably need to be efficient as a rider. So whether that's limited hip mobility in certain ranges, limited strength, limited range of motion, we're putting all these pieces together to come up with different areas that we need to target. And remember, I'm never looking at these things in isolation. Pain is multifactorial, and so there's often a lot of contributing factors that have nothing to do with the mechanics of what's going on, and we need to keep that in mind. Still, by identifying these simple impairments and creating a list of different targets that we can go after, it gives us a starting point for potentially addressing these symptoms of pain and or dysfunction.